welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 53 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So I kind of watched a YouTube video that stated that Warren Buffett, who owns Berkshire Hathaway, invested $1 billion into D.R. Horton and Lennar. And that kind of got me thinking because, I've just bought a new build. Like my last two properties, my primary residence was a Lennar home and my 53rd unit was a Lennar home, which is like basically it's built up and then I'm basically renting it out. So they kind of call it build to rent. And what's kind of funny is basically that kind of told me that interesting, like maybe if Warren Buffett is investing $1 billion into build to rent, like something like I must be missing something, or there must be something good because he's willing to put that money in. So I was kind of thinking about further, and basically I looked at the markets that had the most build to rent. So I think the number one was like, I just had it. It was like Austin, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Huntsville, Alabama was actually on the top 10. Atlanta, Georgia, I think Sacramento, California was on there as well. But basically that article stated that, or video stated that on average, it's actually cheaper to buy a new build, a build to rent new build versus an existing home. And I kind of saw that like when I was looking for my primary residence in Los Angeles, like literally for a townhouse that's old, like 1980s, and I need to renovate it, and the infrastructure is old, and there's no amenities. I literally have to pay like, I think it was like $850,000, and you'd probably spend like $50,000 to renovate the property at least. And I didn't want to deal with that, right? But versus I could buy a new build through Lennar for $900,000, and they gave me almost like $40,000 in repair credits. So if you factor that in, it's almost the same price at $850,000. I'm not dealing with renovations. I'm not dealing with like old homes and old infrastructure, and I get nice amenities. I get a nice pool. I get a nice gym. Yes, my HOA is higher, but those HOAs are paying $300. I'm paying $500, but I'm getting a pool. I'm getting a gym. I'm getting a rec center. I would take that trade all day, right? Because it's more convenient to have a gym there. It's convenient to have a pool there. So it was quite interesting. I'm like, that's what I kind of saw, and it just connected the dots for me. I'm like, yeah, like it's actually cheaper to go buy something that's like new build, assuming you don't mind the location. So I was just like, I'm onto something. And then kind of same thing too, like when I was looking at Huntsville, Alabama, like literally people are selling old homes, like they're 5 years old homes, and they're selling it for like $320 to $340 on average. Versus you go on Lennar or D.R. Horton, like you could buy a brand new home for like $300,000 or less. So I was just like, wait, like even if the prices were exactly the same, 5-year-old home versus a new home, and they're the same price, like I'd rather buy a new home because I can pick my flooring, I can pick my tiles, I can pick my lot, I can pick my carpet, and I get 1-year builder warranties, which is amazing. So why do I not do that, right? And obviously, like Lennar, D.R. Horton, they give incentives, right? Like end of the year incentives. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. And tenants want to live in newer homes. So it's a no-brainer. Like what, like you can get a brand new home, brand new community. Like there has that appeal to it, right? So like, I was just like, this is a no-brainer to buy new builds. That's why I'm trying to buy a new construction lazy burr, right? I have another video talking about it. But it's just kind of like, once again, it's a no-brainer. I get a brand new home. Lennar and D.R. Horton they'll buy down your interest rate for you potentially as an investor, so you can get 5% interest rates potentially because they'll buy it down with a credit, or you can use a credit to like wipe off the closing costs, lower the purchase of the property. So that's what I did. So basically the price was originally $320,000, I think. They lowered the price to like $295K. And then because I offered all cash, they gave me an additional $38,000 off on top of that. So what I'm hoping to do is like, I bought for like $256 all in cash. But if it appraised at $320, which was the original price, I basically almost did a perfect burr where I could pull out most of my money on the deal, right? And maybe I end up leaving maybe $15,000 to $20,000 in the deal. I'm pushing for appraisals at $330, $340 when it's rented out. If that's the case, then it's a perfect burr. I pull all my money and I leave no money in the deal. So I'm hoping I have a generous appraiser, right? But okay, if it appraised at $320 original price, whatever, I'll end up leaving $20,000 in the deal. And in which case I got this deal highly leveraged, right? Like about, 12 to 15% down, which is good. That's how I scale. And I have a new build property. So these homes are more built to rent. So kind of the concern people have is the quality of these new builds. Like, is D.R. Horton homes, Lennar homes, they get bad ratings that, they're not sturdy. But that's how they keep the cost low, right? So it's just a way to make money and make cash flow, because that's how investors think. So that's how like build to rent is becoming more popular, because institutional buyers are buying these properties and they just want to. If you buy a home that's like, so I bought a home for, let's just say, buy it for $256, but essentially that's gonna be my loan. So let's say I bought for $320, and I can rent this out for $2,100 to $2,200, which is the average rent for a brand new home. Even at a 7% interest rate, you're able to like make a little bit of cash flow or break even, right? So like for me, I'm leveraging like heck. But if you were to put a legitimate, like if I bought for $295 and I put a legitimate 25% down payment, like it would still cash flow enough. And then they do that in scale, right? So what these institutional buyers are doing is, if I buy so I could have done a multi-pronged approach. I could have literally bought multiple properties. So like if I said, okay, I'm gonna buy 2 properties cash, I could probably could have negotiated an even bigger discount, because I'm buying in bulk quantity, right? So now I'm getting a discount because, number one, I'm buying end of season, number one, end of quarter, because they want to hit their quarterly quotas. Number 2 is that I'm buying cash, like another discount. Number 3 is I'm buying multiple, so they might give me additional discounts. And if you stack like 3 of these properties like that, you can buy a discount, you can do cash out refinance. The only problem is you just need a lot of cash to do that out the gate, right? And a lot of people don't have that cash out the gate to do that. So it got me thinking. I'm like, man, like maybe I'm doing the right thing, right? Like it's a buyer's market, interest rates are high, and because interest rates are high, like by high I mean like 7% to 7.5%, it's hard for people to buy as a primary residence, because you have to qualify. So you're actually incentivized, unless they use the credits to buy down their rate, but you're incentivized towards investors, where I can make aggressive all cash offers, get additional like 10 to 15% off, and then rent it out. And I even thought about it. If I just put the cash in there and it rents out for $2,100 a month, I'm netting about $1,600 a month after property management, property tax, insurance, and all that, HOA. So that's when it becomes like really powerful, right? Because that's about a 7-8% cash on cash return on your money, and it becomes like an annuity. But real estate becomes the most powerful, in my opinion, at least in the beginning, when you start to leverage it. So if I were to pull my money out, buy, like, have $0 down the deal, my lazy bird, and then basically, if I can get 10 of these properties over the next year and a half, right? Like I could buy one every 30 days or every 90 days is probably what it's gonna take me, or every 30 days. Honestly, if I get it rented out, my limiting step is getting rented out. Once it's rented out, I can do a cash and refinance, pull my money, and use that money to go buy another one. So I can buy every like 60 to 90 days. So if I can get 10 of these properties, and then hopefully over the next 10 years I hold them, and maybe over time they double in value. So from $250 on average to, let's say, $500,000, sell half, pay depreciation recapture, pay long-term capital gains tax, use that to pay off the other half, and now I own those free and clear. So now I own 5 properties that can cash flow like $1,500 to $1,600 a month each net after all my expenses. So that's $7,500 a month in guaranteed rental income with paid off properties, and that's when it becomes really, really powerful. So like it got me thinking, like if this works, this is great, right? So I'm combining build to rent with a buyer's market, and yes, like the properties may not be as sturdy, but that's how they keep the cost low, right? I'd rather get a new home that's maybe not sturdy versus getting an older home that's like maybe sturdier. But for each your own. Like I did both, right? Like I bought a property in 2000 and super sturdy, not many issues with it, right? Versus newer homes, yeah, maybe the build quality is not gonna be as good. That's the price that you have to pay. With real estate. Welcome to real estate investing. So, quite interesting. So like, for me, I do like the new construction model. This is my 3rd new construction I'm buying. And like I said, literally I'm hoping that it rents out soon. And then the end of year sale for Lennar and D.R. Horton, or for Lennar, is end of October. So I'm hoping to buy another one end of October. And no one buys during October. So I'm hoping to get a crazy discount on that deal. And what's funny is I can use my property as a sales comp for my next property. So like if I appraise at 340 and I buy my next one like 3 months later, and it's the same house, same model in different community, I could use it. Hey, this is the sales comps. It's right there. Use that as a reference, right? So it's kind of interesting doing that. So I'll keep you guys posted on the journey. Like I said, I'm just waiting for it to get rented out, and I want to get it. I'm probably going to use Convoy or Kiavi are like my top two right now in terms of interest rate and pricing, and then cash out refinance. So I'll see how those go. But like I said, I'm just waiting for my property manager to call me one day and say, hey, it's rented out, Steven, for hopefully $2,100. What do you think? So that's kind of like my goal and then my strategy, right? So we'll see how that goes. So I'll keep you guys posted. So anyways, let me know what questions you have. Hopefully you found value from the video. If you want to join my school community where I host weekly Q&As, if you want my mentorship program, you want coaching, you want my newsletter, you want to steadily quote for your landlord insurance, click on my link tree down below. From there, you can send me an email. If you have any questions or you want a discount code, send me an email. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.